आपका चॉइस और क्या। आपके इतना सारा बदलता रहता है क्या? कल भी तो था, बदल गया हो। थोड़ा पास में ले लो। इधर ही सॉन्ग जाएगा एक भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर इधर है ना। और इट इज इज डिसअपियरेंस और अपीयरेंस, दैट सॉन्ग आल्सो शुड बी सung, no? Appearance. Then has he written that song? He has only written, no? Oh hey Vaishnava Thakur. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll sing this song by Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. Oh hey Vaishnava Thakur. He only has composed this song. Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, Yeda se karuna kori. Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, Yeda se karuna kori. Diya pada chaya, Shuddha hai amaya, Tomara charana dhari. Diya pada chaya, Shuddha hai amaya, Tomara charana dhari. Chaya vegadami, Chaya dosha shodhi, Chaya guna deho dase. Chaya vegadami, Chaya dosha shodhi, Chaya guna deho dase. Chaya sata sanga deho hai amare, boshiche sange rashe. एकाकी हमारा नहीं पाए बाल, हरि नाम संकीर्तन में। एकाकी हमारा नहीं पाया बाल, हरि नाम संकीर्तन में। तुम्हें कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया, देह कृष्ण नाम धने। तुम्हें कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया, देह कृष्ण नाम धने। कृष्ण से तुम्हारा कृष्ण दास पारो, कृष्ण से तुम्हारा कृष्ण दीते पारो, तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे। कृष्ण से तुम्हारा कृष्ण दीते पारो, तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे। आमी तो कंगाल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोली, भाई तब पाछे पाछे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर ये दासे करुणा करी हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दिया पद छाया शुद्ध है हमारे और खुशी संगे आशे दिया पद छाया शुद्ध है हमारे आशे जय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर जय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर जय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर जय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर जय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर सच्चिदानंद शीला भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर सच्चिदानंद शीला भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर प्रभुपाद 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 विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीडी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड शिल प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा पुरी धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री गौरांगी बैंगलोरेश्वर की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र मैया की श्री श्री गौर निताय की शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर आविर्भाव दिन महामहोत्सव की सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories all glories all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati iti namine Sri Varshabha Navi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरा करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्ध अपसिद्धान्तध्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौर आविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्टसज्जनप्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्याद्रन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भि वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षणवेणुस्वनिर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथाय श्रेयस्तु नः। तप्तकाञ्चनगौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to our morning discussion on the life and teachings of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, whose appearance day we are celebrating today. Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur is our great Acharya, Kamal Manjari in Golok Vrindavan. Manjaris are the small girls of around 6 years age who assist the Sakhis, who assist Srimati Radharani in her service to Lord Krishna. And these Manjaris are having access to all the pastimes, intimate pastimes of the divine couple Radha and Krishna. And one such great Manjari, Kamal Manjari, came amongst us to give us his holy association and teachings by which we could be uplifted. Lord sends his great devotees time and again for our deliverance. So Bhaktivinod Thakur was such devotee who had to face the so many wrong sampradayas who were very prominent in those years when he was there in Bengal. There were 13 apasampradayas, Aula, Baula, Karta Bhaja, Gauranga Nagari, Neda, Daravesha, then Sati, Sahajiya, Sakhi Bheki, Smarta, Jata Gosai, Ativadi and Chudadhari. So these were all kind of offshoots of the pure teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they had focused on some part of his teaching and then distorted it to such an extent that the original teachings were completely lost, and they were deviating people from the pure teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So for the upliftment of all the people, society which was completely tormented by this kind of wrong upper sampradayas, Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur had to struggle like anything. And he struggled, and by Lord's grace, his empowered soul, he is directly associate of the Lord, Kamal Manjari. So he was successful. And Bhaktivinod Thakur wrote more than 100 books and several songs. We sing them also. Morning before Bhagavatam class, Srila Prabhupada recommended that we sing Jai Radha Madhav song. Just such a small song of only 4 lines, kind of 8 glorious names of the Lord. And whole picture of Vrindavan is portrayed over there very nicely. So that we sing before Bhagavatam. Afternoon, when Bhoga is offered, the Pujari is supposed to sing Bhoga Arati. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Shri Gaura Hari, Shri Gaura Hari, Sohi Goshti Bihari, Nanda Yashomati Chitta Hari, Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Shri Gaura Hari. When I was Pujari, I used to sing this. When Rajbhog Arati, Rajbhog would be offered, I would offer Rajbhog and then go behind. Lord is eating, meanwhile the Pujari sings in the backside. It's very nice thing that is given by Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. And as the altar opens, for Rajbhog Arati we are supposed to sing Yashomati Nandana Brajabaro Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana. This is again by Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. Hare Krishna. And evening in Sandhya Arati we sing Jaya Jaya Gaura Chambe Arati Kashobha. So this song is also by Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. So we can sing morning, afternoon, evening. We are singing mainly the songs of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. We do have in Guru Puja from Shri Prem Bhakti Chandrika around 11 to 12 stanzas. So in that 4 stanzas we sing as a part of our Guru Vandana, that Shri Guru Charana Padma. And then we also have Guru Ashtak given by Srila Vishwanath Chakti Thakur. Early morning 4:30 we begin our day with that. Part of Mangalati Prabhupada introduced. So other Acharya songs are there, but mainly morning, afternoon, evening we are singing the songs of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. Prabhupada was highly inspired by Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, his life and teaching, and he himself was quite resembling the lifestyle of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. So where are those songs here? So our Bhaktivinod Thakur has written some songs like Amar Jivan Sada Paperata Nahi Ko Punnera Lesha. This is by Bhaktivinod Thakur. Ami Jamuna Puline Kadamba Kanane Kihe Vimuk Sakhiyaja. So this is by Bhaktivinod Thakur, very nice song. Then some songs we might not have heard also. Amito Durjana Ati Sada Durachar. How many have heard this song? Nobody has heard. Mataji has heard. Good. Somebody is there at least. So we should follow our Gaudiya line. Some songs are famous in Bengal. Anadi Karma Phale, Padi Bhavarnala Jale. That is also by Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. Ar Keno Maya Jale Padite Cho Jiva Minar Keno Maya Jale. This is by Bhaktivinod Thakur. Then Aslo Katha Bolte. Asli Katha bata raha hu aapko. Real story. Otherwise all others are telling false stories. But Bhaktivinod Thakur tells his true story. Atma Nivedana Tuvapade. So this is by Bhaktivinod Thakur. I also don't know many remaining part. Bhaja Bhakatavastal as a part of Bhogarti. Then Bhajare Amar. How many have heard this song? Bhajare Amar. So okay, 2-3 devotees are there. Then he sang Bhale Gaura Gadadharer Arati. Gaur and Gadadhar, Radha and Krishna in the form of Gaur Gadadhar. Bhaktivinod Thakur would mainly worship Gaur Gadadhar. So that song also is written. Then Bhuliya tomare samsare asiya pade nana vidha vyatha. Then Bolo Hari Bolo is another song. Bodo sukher khabur gai, bodo sukher khabur gai. Surabhi kunjete namer hat khuleche. Bodo sukher khabur gai, bodo sukher khabur gai. This is famous song. Nityam Prabhu has opened a marketplace of holy name in Godaram Deep. That is by him. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nachre Amar Man. This is by Bhaktivinod Thakur. Dulabha Manava Janama Padi Labhiya Samsare. This is by Bhaktivinod Thakur. Ekhona Bhujinu Prabhu Tomara Charana. Another song. ए मौन दुर्मति संसार भीतरे पड़ियाछि आमी आमी. This is another song. गाय गौर मधुर स्वरे गाय गौर चांद जीवेर तरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे. This is another song. Gopinath mama nivedana shuno. In this Gopinath there are 3 songs, each of 8 stanzas. So you can say 24. And 3 songs are there anyway in that. Gopinath Guchao Sansar, that is second. Gopinath Amar Upay, that is third. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koro Ye Dase Trunapekha Atihina. This song we sing for begging the blessings of Gurudev is written by Bhaktivinod Thakur. Then there is one more. Gurudev Bodo Krupa Kori, another song. गुरुदेवे व्रज वने व्रज भूमि वासी जने हरि हरि कबे मोरा होबे हेनो दीन. अनदर सॉन्ग. हरि बोलो हरि बोलो भाई रे. अनदर सॉन्ग. जय जय राधा कृष्ण. सम अदर सॉन्ग. जीव जागो गौरा चंद्र बोले. दैट इज बाय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर. कबे गौर वने. अनदर सॉन्ग. कबे हबे बोलो से दीन हमार अपराध घूची शुद्ध नामे रुचि कृपा बोले हबे हृदय संचार कभी हबे बोलो से दीन हमार. दिस इज वेरी फेमस सॉन्ग. कबे हबे हेनो दास मोर. अनदर सॉन्ग. कबे मुई वैष्णव चिनिबो. दिस इज अनदर सॉन्ग. कबे श्री चैतन्य मोरे कोरी बेन दया. अनदर. कली कुक्कुर कदन जदि चाहो है. तो दिस इज सॉन्ग. केनो हरे कृष्ण नाम हरि बोलो. केशव तुआ जगत विचित्र. दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ शरणागति सॉन्ग. की जाने की बोले. दिस अनदर सॉन्ग. कृपा करो वैष्णव ठाकुर. अनदर सॉन्ग. मम मन मंदिरे रहो निषिदेना कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. दिस इज अनदर सॉन्ग. मानस देहो गेहो जो किछु मोर अर्पिलु तुआ पदे नंद किशोर नादिया गोद्रो में नित्यानंद महाजन. अनदर सॉन्ग. नारद मुनि बाजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे. दैट इज अनदर सॉन्ग. निज कर्म दोषे फले. वन मोर सॉन्ग. निताई नाम हाथे ओके जबीरे भाई. अनदर. ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर वी जस्ट sang. और मन भालो ना लागी ये संसार. अनदर सॉन्ग. प्रभु तव पद जोगे मोरा निवेदन. अनदर सॉन्ग. प्रपंचे पोड़िया अगति. अनदर सॉन्ग. राधा कृष्ण बोल बोल बोलो रे सोबाय. अनदर सॉन्ग. राधा कुंड तट कुंज कुटीर. अनदर सॉन्ग. सर्वस्व तुम्हार चरणी संपिया. दैट इज अनदर. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु जीवे दया करी. वन मोर सॉन्ग. श्री कृष्ण कीर्तने जदि मानस तोहार. अनदर. शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वरा व्रजेंद्र कुमार उदिलो अरुण पूरब भागे द्विजमणि गौरा अमनि जागे. अनदर सॉन्ग. विभावरी शेष आलोक पवेश निद्रा छाड़ी ओठ जीवा. वन मोर. विद्यार विलासे यशोमती नंदन ब्रज बार नागर. दैट ऑलरेडी सेड. part of Rajbhog Arti. Then Yadi Te Hari Pada Saroj Sudha, one more song. So we can imagine, means we can see how many songs he has written, and they are so famous, they are so special. We are all blessed with these songs. Very simple Bengali language, and essence of all the Vedic literatures is completely there in these songs. Anybody can memorize and sing and feel completely transported altogether to Golok Vrindavan, to spiritual consciousness. Anytime one feels depressed in spiritual life, one can read any of these, one can sing any of these songs, and one will immediately be elevated altogether to spiritual platform. So something about the life of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. Bhaktivinod Thakur appeared near Mayapur. Some kind of book is there. This one. Near Mayapur Dham in Bir Nagar, village of Bir Nagar in Ulagram area on 2nd September 1838. That was Sunday, Shravan Shukla Trayodashi. That was his appearance day. We do celebrate his appearance day like today we are celebrating. That is the same, Shravan Shukla Trayodashi. Day for yesterday was Ekadashi, no? Yesterday was Dwadashi, today is Trayodashi. He was the third son of Anand Chandra Datta and Jagat Mohini Devi. He was born with silver spoon in his mouth. But then as he grew to youthful days, then there was poverty. Somehow the money was gone and he had to go through a miserable youth because of that poverty. His childhood name was Kedarnath, named after Lord Shiva's place, Kedarnath. He was named. And he is also considered seventh Goswami. One, there is Shishir Kumar Ghosh. He said that when I see the life of Thakur Bhaktivinod or Kedarnath Babu, then I am reminded of six Goswamis. So I consider you to be the seventh Goswami. So he is a famous person in Bengal. So he said that Bhaktivinod Thakur is seventh Goswami. We know the lifestyle of seven Goswamis, especially Srila Srinivas Acharya tells in Ishad Goswami Ashtakam. From there, whatever we see the description of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, we find Bhaktivinod Thakur resembling quite similarly in that way only. He was always first in his class. He also was taken care by his maternal uncle in the mama's house because of the poverty and other reasons. When you are just 2 years old, what you say, baby only or some small boy, so that time he composed the first poem of his life. It's in Bangla. It's a 2-line kind of poem. So he was so expert. Just by seeing one crow who was sitting on one branch of a tree. So then I can't say that Bangla, but it is there. Kaka, na, Baba, Sita, that now father is going to come, please move aside. And the crow did move aside also, as per the statement. Many people write many things in the poem, but nothing happens accordingly. But when Bhaktivinod Thakur wrote that Baba is coming, father is coming, please move aside, the crow did move also, moved to the side. And Baba did come also, his father also came. This was just when he was 2 years old. He would be very scientific in his approach in every field of life. So one example is given. This I am speaking, I think, mainly from 7th Goswami book. One devotee has written, Rup Vilas Prabhu. He has written, and I also heard His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Swami Maharaj lecture. So Maharaj spoke all these things. So he would be very scientific in approach in every field of life. How a chicken hatches out of egg, Bhaktivinod Thakur in childhood would be watching very intently. So what's happening now and how it cracks open and it comes out and all that. He would be very much watching that. And one point of time, he was very scared of one particular place where there were jamun, that means what you call jamun, one fruit, we all know that. Blackberry? No, not blackberry. Okay, the jamun plant is very famous and the fruits we get. So he wanted, but somebody said that there is a ghost there. So he was scared as a small boy, how can I go? But then there was one guard there, somebody, so who told that you don't worry, if you just chant the name of Lord Ram, then the ghost can do nothing to you. So then he was chanting Ram, 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 and he went and he got jamuns and he relished them also. When he was small boy, he had interest in cricket also, but once while playing cricket, the bat severely hit him on the eyebrow. and there was profuse blood flow and all that. So that was the end of his cricket career. Then again he never played cricket. So our acharyas have shown that even cricketers can become great devotees. And he had, at the age of 11, he wrote one book on the poems of Mother Chandi called Ula Chandi Mahatmya. At the age of 11, Ula Chandi Mahatmya. Then at the age of 12 only he was married to one 5-year-old girl. In those years, marriages would be quite early. So he was married quite early. In 1856, he wrote a book on the character of King Puru, who fought with Alexander. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so much knowing about what's happening, and he could write also. When he was sitting at the lotus feet of their lordship Shri Radha Madhav in Choti Mangalpur in Odisha, he wrote this famous song, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, sitting at the lotus feet of Radha Madhav deities, another Radha Madhav deities. He also felt that there is a lot of exploitation of poor people, so he wanted to open school. He opened a school for them, but then now who will teach? So he only underwent one teacher's training course by going somewhere, and he learnt it himself, and he became teacher. If you go now also in Cuttack, there is one Cuttack High School, I believe. I had gone personally there some 8-10 years back. So there, now also if you go, there is one board in the office of the school, Cuttack High School. And there they have, first principal only is Kedarnath Datta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's name. First principal. When I went there, so I told this Kedarnath Datta is our Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They said, who is he? We don't know. He's the first principal of this school. I said, I will tell you. So they gathered all the teachers there, 10-15 of them. And I gave them small talk of 15-20 minutes. Who is Kedar? And they were all surprised. Hey, just see, they were telling, our first principal is so special. And this Prabhu knows. And they gifted me also one book, magazine in Odia language. And in that photo, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was also there. But they did not know exactly anything about him. In 1868, he got Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita copy. Started reading Chaitanya Charitamrita first. He read it completely and got convinced about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lordship. He read it again, felt the need to spread Chaitanya Vani all over the world. He also said that I felt anurag. I felt great attachment. But also it is said that he was searching for Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it took some 8 years for him to get one copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. One copy means it's Bangla copy. In one copy only, one book, you get all around 11,000 plus verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita has so many verses. So Bangla, if you know, you can just read one thing, and no need of translation because it's very easy language. So he got after 8 years. For us, Prabhupada has made it so user friendly or whatever you call, accessible. Anytime you go any ISKCON stall, you can get it. Nowadays online also, you can get it to your home only. Only thing lacking is desire to read. see as it is Bhagavata, as it is Bhagavatam. So we should read. This is a very nice day on Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance. We can promise that, I wish to read. How many of you promise that in 8 years you will read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? You will complete. Yeah, 8 years. He took 8 years to get it. Raise your hand. You already read. Very good. That is excellent. How many have already read? Great. So in case not read, in next 8 years try to read it. Best is to read in 1 year. Best is to read. In our Pune one Grahastha read it in 4 months. That's it. So it is possible. Very easy. Proper disciples made it in 2 months only. So at least for us it should be taking 2 months or less than that. If not, 4-5 months or at the earliest, whatever possible. In 1866, he got 3 job offers simultaneously. He was so qualified. British officers would be fighting amongst themselves that I want, as he was the district magistrate, that was the highest post offered to any Indian in British government. Beyond that, they would not offer because they have their own politics and all that. So, but then this was the highest post, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur got it so many times. But the different British officers, they would be fighting that I want Kedarnath Babu in my region. He will be district magistrate there. The other would say, no, I want in my area. They would fight like anything and whatever their political ways. So then one person would get ultimately. So you can imagine, devotee in worldly life also is so much wanted. If he is very nice devotee. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was such a nice devotee. He became deputy magistrate in Dinajpur by the British. He wrote one book called Sachidananda Premalankar. After reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and all that, he wrote this book. This is a Bengali poem on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories. Because he wrote this book, Sachidananda Premalankar, he was given title by the whole community as Sachidananda. We say many times, Sachidananda Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur ki Jai. So that Sachidananda, what everybody has Sachidananda only as soul. But that is not because of the Sachidananda soul, that is because he wrote this poem on the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sachidananda Premalankar. So that's how he got this title. In 1871, he was appointed in Jagannath Puri as the district magistrate. So first time he had been to Puri, he went to Haridas Thakur Samadhi on the seashore. There he came to know about Haridas Thakur from the local people. So he was so inspired, he wrote one 10-stanza poem on the life and glories of Haridas Thakur, of which I believe it's the 9th stanza, which is very famous. He reasons ill who says Vaishnavas die, for thou art living still in sound. Vaishnavas die to live, and while living spread the holy name around. So if any Vaishnava passes away, then this is the stanza written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the 10th stanza poem. This is very famous. He reasons ill who says Vaishnavas die. That means Vaishnavas never die. They are there, they spread the holy name, and after their departure also in the form of Vani, they keep preaching only. So this was inspired by Haridas Thakur's life. In 1874, before that only, in Puri only, he stopped all the malpractices which were going on. The king is there in Odisha, and he stays generally in Puri, Cuttack area. So that king had usurped the property of Lord Jagannath, and thousands of lakhs of rupees he had put in his account instead of in the Jagannath service. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very intelligent, very intelligent. So he caught that king and said that in a nice way, because king also has such a big position. So what he did, he played a trick. He said you have to every day offer chappan bhog to Lord Jagannath. And he agreed. But as the everyday chappan bhog, lot of expenditure, so slowly his treasury was getting exhausted only. And he was wondering, I am checkmated here. What's going on here? This way I will lose all money. This Thakur is very intelligent. So the king also was very cunning fellow. So he called Purohits, priests, and he arranged for a yagya, fire sacrifice. And ultimately at the last day of that, he was going to offer the ahuti by which Bhaktivinoda Thakur will die. So what happened? When they gave the last offering, praying that Bhaktivinoda Thakur dies, his only son only died. The king's only son, the prince died. And the king was shocked. Exactly opposite only happened. He was supposed to die and my son only died. So he went running to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, begged forgiveness, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, okay. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very powerful. This happened in 1874 around. There was that British officer's name was Melcalf. He was fighting with another servant over Bhaktivinoda Thakur, another person. Similarly, in another place in Odisha, there were three tantrics. They were claiming themselves to be Mahavishnu, Brahma and Shiva. All three murtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So one was saying I am Mahavishnu, another saying Brahma and Shiva. So Mahavishnu was ultimately arrested by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Like that. So he was doing nonsensical activities. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had proclaimed also that I have come to finish off all the British rule from India. I will drive them away because I am Lord. I come yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. He was giving lectures. He was very influential. He was having lot of mystic powers. People were also charmed by his speeches, etc. And people were innocent, naive fellows. So they were being cheated also. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur, nobody was ready to be there as district magistrate. So ultimately British officers thought Bhaktivinoda Kedarnath Babu is the best. So he was appointed. And sure enough, he wanted to find out the whole thing. So he met many villagers, found out. And then when it was very clear that he was doing lot of malpractices, he was having mystic powers, but apart from that, he was mishandling women and all that. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur went there with many police constables and told him. But as he entered only, immediately that fellow, he had mystic powers. He said, oh, Kedarnath Babu, you are my great devotee. So welcome. I knew that you would be coming. And so it was very surprising, shocking to others. How does he know? The police constables and all that. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, now enough of all your trickeries. Now you please come. Bhaktivinoda Thakur little bit tested him and he said, I am only Vishnu. I have come for deliverance. And scriptures don't speak of all this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very clear. This fellow is a culprit. He has to be arrested. So then he said, please come with my police constable. Police constables came in front, but then he was showing a lot of mystic powers. So they were also scared, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, don't worry, capture him. And he was saying, Thakur, it is not good for you. You are my devotee. So that's why I am not showing any of this, my powers and all that. So you better understand your Lord. Like that he was speaking many things. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not get swayed by all that. And he ultimately arrested him. And then while getting arrested also he said, because you are my great devotee, it is always my pastime to accept the proposal of my devotee. So I am accepting. Like that. But understand, I am not ordinary person, I am the Supreme Lord only. So then he was arrested and he was put in jail, and ultimately there was case. So when court case was going on, so many people outside, around 1,000 people outside the court were there, and they were shouting, release him, he's our God, he's Mahavishnu, and he's going to drive away all the British and all that. They were speaking many things. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not budge an inch. So hearing was going on, but then this fellow also played his mystic powers, and by that simultaneously Bhaktivinoda Thakur's son and daughter, who were small, they got terribly sick. They were bedridden, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife Bhagwati Devi, she was very much concerned, and she knew what is happening there. She said, please my dear husband, please don't release that fellow, because of him our children are in terrible situation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no matter what he does, even if everybody dies, I will not going to leave him. So he is adharmi, like that. So ultimately what happened on the 10th day also, last day, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was supposed to give final verdict, then suddenly he had a severe chest pain in his chest. And it was very difficult. He got kind of bedridden only. Then also people said, don't go for that. He said, nothing doing. He arranged for 4 men to carry him in palanquin. He sat in palanquin, he went there. And in that condition, the final day, and he gave him sentence, the imprisonment, etc. So there was one British officer who had read some books about these mystic yogis of India. So he came to know that many of them have their energy, their potency stored in their long hairs. And this fellow also had long hair. So then when he was taken to jail, that time this British officer suddenly came and cut off his long hair. When his long hair were cut off, then he became very weak. Though earlier he was showing a lot of powers in the jail, everybody was scared. But now he became completely weak and completely without any energy. Then he was put in jail, and there only he consumed poison and he committed suicide. He died. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very powerful. His 4th son was Bimla Prasad. 3rd was Lalita Prasad, and 4th, he had around 12 children around. He had 2 wives. So Bimla Prasad is our Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The 3rd son once had asked his father that, Baba, I know your story, your life, I have seen from my youthful days, but I want to know before my birth and all, how did you lead your life? I am very curious because you have such an amazing, ideal example, shining example. So could you please tell about earlier part also? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur made some 300 plus points written and then gave it to his son, starting from his beginning, from his birth and even before that also. That's how there is one book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, something like Swajivana Charitra, Swalikhita Jivani, Swalikhita Jivani, about his own life, autobiography, he is writing. That is up to some 300 points he makes. Whole life is there up to that point. And then he says, this on, then on, you know already, you have been seeing. So there is no need. So that much he has written. He got initiated by one Vipin Bihari, who was nice, but then eventually there was some conflict in a sense. There was different opinion about birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, etc. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur then took shelter of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. That's why our Shiksha Parampara, we see there that though Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not Diksha disciple of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, but a Shiksha disciple, and I was his Shiksha Parampara. Nor was Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj disciple of Bhaktivinod Thakur, but he took Shiksha from Bhaktivinod Thakur, so he becomes the Shiksha disciple of Bhaktivinod Thakur, who is Shiksha disciple of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. In 1881, when he was in Vrindavan area, there were a band of dacoits. So Bhaktivinod Thakur made sure that these dacoits don't trouble people. In Kolkata, he opened a Bhakti Bhavan, and he wrote 130 Sanskrit verses in Amnaya Sutra, on Amnaya Sutra. In 1887, in Tarkeshwar, when Bhaktivinod Thakur was sleeping in the night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to him in a dream and asked him, what have you decided about my dham in Navadvip? You are very nicely situated in Vrindavan Dham. You are so happy here. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was thinking of permanently residing in Vrindavan only. But then, because he had written that song, Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutir. If we know, how many of you visited Bhaktivinoda Thakur's residence in Radha Kund area? That is also called Swanand Sukhat Kunj. It is just after Radha Kund area. When we come out, little bit left and little ahead we have to go. It is there now also. So he had written all this. So Lord was very concerned that what about Navadvip Dham? That is yet not known to the whole world. You have your plan to settle in Vrindavan, but do something about Navadvip. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur came to Navadvip area also, and he started preaching in Surabhi Kunj. When he was staying in Navadvip, eventually he was feeling like giving up the job. Krishnanagar was the job, and here in Surabhi Kunj he was staying. There is Swananda Sukhat Kunj, his residence in Navadvip. So he felt this takes a lot of time. So when he revealed his heart that I don't want to do job and all, they said, no, what is the problem? Okay, long distance, don't worry. For you, we'll arrange transportation. So they laid one, what they call, short gauge. Around 25 kilometers of short gauge, that railway line, exclusively for one person, Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, British arranged. And there was 3-bogie train, which was only for one person, Bhaktivinod Thakur. He would go in Krishnanagar for job, for that court cases, and then afterwards he would be brought by that same. In earlier, long before, the track was also there and the train also was there that would move. So in that train, Bhaktivinod Thakur would move. Now they have removed all that, but it was there. So you can imagine Bhaktivinod Thakur's caliber. For him, British are ready to give so many facilities they wanted. He was very expert in giving court cases. It is said what ordinarily the other district magistrates took 2 hours or so, Bhaktivinod Thakur would solve the case in 10 minutes only. That was his expertise. When he was there in Navadvip, in Godrum, this Swananda Sukhat Kunj, his own residence, on the northern side of the Ganges, he saw bright light. And then he found out what was that. What was that place? Also, he discovered this place, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace, Nimayar Janmasthan. There were 2 opinions about it, because there are other group also. They were residing on the western bank of Ganges. So they had all saying, they were saying that this side is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace, and accordingly then Advait Bhavan is there, then Srivas Angan is there, and so many things. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to really find out which is the exact birth spot, the spot of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. He had all his maps because he was in government duty. But according to the whatever was the map showing, a lot of long story, basically because Muslims ruling and all that, Mayapur had become something like Miyapur. So he was trying to locate where is exactly Mayapur, then eventually found out. And then whatever he thought to be the birthplace, then he went there and he found out there was a Muslim owner, and he asked him, what about this place? Then he said, this is a very third class place. No matter what you grow here, put here, only Tulsi plants only grow. So that was very convincing to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That Tulsi plant is growing so abundantly, that means this is likely. So he did all research and kind of concluded this is the place. But for final verdict, he called Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, who was staying on Western Bank in Navadvip town. And he was so old, around 135-year-old also. And he was quite weak. His eyelids also he would not be able to open. he would be carried, if at all, any time, by his servant Bihari in one basket, because he was very lean and thin, lighter. So Bihari would pick him up in the basket and put on head and walk to the other place. So when the news came to Bihari that Jagannath Babaji Maharaj, we need to know through him, which is the exact birthplace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then Jagannath Babaji Maharaj said, take me there. So he was brought to this side of the Ganges. When he was brought and Bihari kept the basket down, then he told Srila Jagannath Babaji Maharaj that just see whether this is the place. So Jagannath Babaji Maharaj was so weak and old, he would not be able to lift his eyelids also. So Bihari only would do that. So he lifted his eyelids, and as soon as his eyelids were opened and he saw the land over there, immediately he jumped. They say some 10 feet high he jumped in the sky, and he started dancing. Yahi to Nimair Janmasthan, Yahi to Nimair Janmasthan. Haribo! This is the birthplace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Bhaktivinod Thakur was very clear. Yes, this Vaishnava Sarvabhaum, the most foremost of all the Vaishnavas, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj has said, so this is now confirmed. So then he wanted to build temple over there. But he did not want any one man or two men to contribute the whole huge amount. He could have gone to many rich people and would have convinced them. He did not want that. He wanted maximum or almost all people's contribution. So he would ask everyone to give just 1 rupee only, not more than that. Somebody wanted to give more, he said no, we want to involve many people like that. Sometimes because he had taken off from his job and he was like normal clothes, dress, etc., people would not know his position as earlier district magistrate. So then some people, as it happens in collection, so they say, hey, get lost, like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur very humbly would leave that place. But somebody else who knew would, hey, you know who he is that famous Kedarnath Datta in British government, and he's building temple for Lord Chaitanya, and very humbly asking only 1 rupee quantity. Then that person would come begging, sorry, Kedarnath ji, please, here is 1 rupee. I will give more, not needed. Only 1 rupee. So then he worked very hard and he got all this money and eventually established that temple, what we see in Yog Pit. That is all by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's so much hard efforts. His schedule is given 8 to 10 in the night he would sleep. 10 o'clock we sleep generally. So before that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's sleep would be over. Only 2 hours. 8 to 10 he would sleep. 10 to 4, 6 hours he would be writing books. Then only it is possible to write 100 plus books, isn't it? And there are also small books, quite big books also. So 10 to 4, 6 hours. So you can see Prabhupada also followed something like that. 1 o'clock around Prabhupada would get up. 1 to 5 he would be writing books. 4 to 4:30 he would take little rest, maximum half an hour. 4:30 to 7 he would chant Japa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, for 2.5 hours. 7 to 7:30 he would be replying letters by dictation to a personal assistant. 7:30 to 8:30 reading different religious books. He was well read. So many religions he knew. 8:30 to 9:15 he would be visiting guests. 9:30 to 9:45 am he would rest briefly for 15 minutes around. 9:30 to 9:55 around he would then afterwards take bath and take prasad. Prasad is also written, some like 2 chapatis he would have that time. 9:55 am he would be leaving for job. 10 to 1 pm first session of the court. 30 to 50 cases he would handle in just 3 hours. Very powerful and very clear, very sharp, no mistake ever. 1 pm he would come to home, take bath, get refreshed. 2 to 5 pm again court, second session. And 5 to 7 pm he would be translating from Sanskrit to English, translation of different things, different books, etc. Then 7 o'clock he would take evening bath, dinner, in that 2 chapatis, little rice, dal and half powder milk. This was fixed. And then 8 o'clock he would take rest. So overall he would take 2.5 to 3 hours rest daily. He also would carry pocket watch. That would be in his pocket. Anytime he wanted to see time, he would watch there. So like that many things Bhaktivinoda Thakur has done. But basically Prabhupada has followed Bhaktivinoda Thakur's lifestyle and teaching. In 1896 when Prabhupada appeared in this world, that is the time when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had written that famous book, Life and Precepts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he sent that to different universities of the world, different places all over the world. There only he made that famous statement that very soon that commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya's army will appear in this world. And he had appeared already. Somewhere in 1901, he had made a statement, very soon that commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya's army, he will travel unrestrictedly on the surface of the globe and preach very powerfully the message of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this statement was made by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur somewhere in 1901 or little before. So if you see, for unrestricted traveling, lot of facilities are required because in between oceans are there, water and all that. So in those years, it would be a boats, British and all came by boats only. But because Bhaktivinoda Thakur had predicted like that, and Prabhupada had to preach all over the world, so Lord gave right intelligence to right brothers to come up with aeroplanes. In the initial stages, they were quite primitive. You might have seen on net and all. And so that would be like you would keep running, and something would happen, it would collapse. But this was when it was started. But then eventually, by the time Prabhupada was ready to preach all over the world, especially 1965 or so, 1966, then the planes were quite sophisticated, that too in America. And Prabhupada could then fly without any restriction. And as per the prediction of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he could preach in 12 years, 108 temples all over the world, and such unlimited preaching. And he gives credit to all the acharyas and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur definitely, to his guru Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So you can see all the acharyas, especially Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very missionary. He is the one who had this Namahatta concept. He had more than 300 Namahatta centers and thousands of devotees. He created revolution in whole Bengal. And then after him, his son, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, had 64 Gaudiya Maths all over India, some few outside also, Rangoon and some other places, but 60 at least in India itself. And then Srila Prabhupada, he had 108 temples all over the world. So you can see Bhaktivinoda Thakur mainly focused on Bengal, Bhaktivinoda Thakur India, Prabhupada the whole globe. And now we are there. We are supposed to assist Srila Prabhupada, and wherever Prabhupada could not go, we have to make him reach, his books reach, and the temples should start. And this is our legacy. This is coming from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was that revolutionary Acharya. He foresaw everything. He only made that statement that Adbhut Mandir will come up this side. And there I see then all the British, Russians, English people, Americans and Indians, they will join hands and they will loudly chant, Jai Sachinandana Gaur Hari! So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what he predicted, that time there was nothing of that sort. No American or Russian was inside India. But by his statement, Prabhupada's hard work, he fulfilled the legacy, the prophecy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it is continuing to go ahead more and more. So we need the Acharya's blessing on their appearance and disappearance days. They are more merciful. As on our birthdays, we are very benevolent, very merciful. So on this day, we pray at the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that he blesses us, that as he was so missionary and so committed to spread Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings all over, and also he fought against the deviations. So let us also get that strength from him. A drop of oceanic strength that he has, if we get, that is enough. We will be able to remove all the deviations from society and from our own heart, and we will be able to be nice instruments in the hands of Srila Prabhupada and his followers. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktarunda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.